Hi everybody, wanted to jump right back in quickly to show you a different perspective, this time of structal, this time from the teacher's dashboard. This is my dashboard. As soon as you come in, you notice that you see the 5 classes and it shows you the number of highlights that I have personally created. So these are all the custom highlights. Very easy to do and create. I will show you that in another short video. So right now, this is what you're going to look like, right? I have 5 classes. These were my classes from last year. And when I click view all classes, it comes up with all of my classes. Because these were the ones that are last year, it shows me how many highlights my classes have had, my students have had today, past week, past month. Now, everything says 0 because it's the summer, so these are last year's classes, so the students have been resting. If you wanted to add a class, this is where you go to add a class. But once I click on my class, then it brings me to my class report. And it tells me my students haven't highlighted any words for this time period. The time period is here for today. But if I wanted to, then I can check the highlights for that they did in the past week, the past month, or whatever custom time frame I wanted to. Okay, it also gives me a highlight of the students that have the most highlights. Those are the students that I'm focusing on. Why do they have these many highlights? What is it that I need to help them with? Who's having trouble doing what? And then the students from their dashboard are also able to send me questions about what it is that they are reading at the moment. And those questions will show up here as they are reading. Okay. Below it, you're going to see over here is a roster. And for security reasons, I'm not going to show that to you. But once I go and I choose a custom date, then it brings me to that custom word cloud. This is amazing. Okay, so if you look at this was, and I'm a Spanish teacher, as I said. So if we look at from November 1st through November 30th, right? This is what we're looking at, what we were working on, and this was obviously about the theme of families and communities, and we were discussing specifically the concept of death in different communities, and with a focus on El Día de los Muertos in Mexico. And so what I did was I always give them an article that after we brainstorm, what do we know about this? What do we think? Um, I give them the article that I want them to read. In this case, what I gave them was a slide, Google slide presentation. And what I did was, in order for them to be able to use Structal on this, I had them simply publish it to the web so that then they can activate Structal. And if you notice, these are the words that immediately called my attention. The larger words are the ones that have most clicks on them. Okay. And the very little ones show me that these, at least one student checked on those words. One thing that comes to my attention was this word there, right? You're saying, how is it that that word is so large? When we started the conversation around this vocabulary and what does it mean, and is it a cognate or is it not, then this word came up because what I didn't realize that they were doing was they were looking at that word, always knowing of one definition, but I came to realize that what was throwing them off were prepositional phrases with that word there. And so that took us into a prepositional phrases type of lesson and how to look for it. So how do I use this word cloud? Okay, a lot of times I use it for brainstorming before the unit and the theme, right? They're reading something, and now this is where we're going to pull a lot of that vocabulary that we need. So if we look at these words that they all highlighted, right, it was all based on the concept of death and el Dia de los Muertos. Um, so we also, what I do after we discuss this vocabulary, I make sure that I incorporate this vocabulary throughout the lessons within this unit. Okay, I use them as word banks in writing activities. I look for any reteaching that I have to do as far as recognition of word families, of vocabulary. How do they not know tuvieron? Do you recognize that this is a verb, and where does that verb come from, and what tense that verb comes from? We look at prepositional phrases. We look at grammar when I start seeing that some students are still um, highlighting el, los, las. So then we went back and rethought that and looking at the gender number agreement between articles and nouns. So this is how I usually start a lesson or slash unit. And the students are, again, completely involved. This is what they come up with. These are the words that they said that they needed help with. And that's how I use my word cloud. I hope that this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, again, put them in the comments and I'm happy to answer.